Now entering the ring, fighting out of the red corner, weighing in at 195 pounds. Fighting out of House of Pain East and trained by Bernie Aragon, Justin Becerra! Please welcome, fighting out of the blue corner, weighing in at 190 pounds, fighting out of TOS Boxing Gym and trained by DeVero Williamson, Chase Campbell! Our sixth bout of the evening is brought to you by our silver sponsors, Rhino Country Club, Anthony Smith, and Handsome Boys Hospitality. Our bronze sponsors, Gruber Commercial Real Estate Incorporated, Morgan Stanley Private Wealth Management, and Mile High Spirits. Boxers to the center.
All right. We are on to our sixth match of the night.
Now, Maddie, talk me through the environment you're feeling on site right now for the folks at home.
I think that it is an even crowd support over here. We're hearing it from all around both sides. Both of these fellas brought the whole team. They've got some great supports. Very curious. I mean, I personally am going to be calling Justin over here. He is a dental surgeon. We're just going to be calling him the surgeon. Hopefully, his precision matches with his title.
Got shoulders on this guy, though, huh?
Honestly, we keep talking about the shoulder game. Ooh, strong
Seriously,
connection.
that guy looks huge.
Oh
my God.
Oh my God. That was.
Oh my God. Who gave you the right? Who gave you the right to throw punches like that?
These boys brought cannons. Is it a pirate ship? I think we're on a pirate ship because these are cannons.
Are we at the armory?
Perhaps. Absolute missiles.
Wow. Guys.
Those first 15 seconds were just full of big hits. Any one of these lands on you, you're going on skates, baby. It's Rockefeller Center in December. There's an ice rink.
Wow. So we did hear the first ref.
First time, back of the head.
He was saying he was holding, Chase is holding the back of the head and throwing that uppercut. Not allowed.
I mean,
we hate to see that for the folks at home who are reenacting.
It works out pretty well. Yeah, if you want someone to stop moving their head, you just hold it. Yep.
Wow. Now the thing that's very interesting to see here, right, is we're seeing the initiation mainly in the red corner right now.
Yes.
We're seeing Justin lead the dance in some cases.
The surgeon.
But the counter punching that we're seeing from Chase, he's letting that jab come into range so we can throw that hard right hand and make him pay for it.
And each one of those is right down the middle. He is hitting him straight up the sights.
Look at the grit on the face of the surgeon as he's coming in.
Like you're saying, with like Justin over in the red is leading. He is taking the step. He's throwing those first jabs, but responding, Chase Campbell with these line drives right up the middle.
I'm going to take a wild guess and say this is not Chase's first rodeo.
This does not look like Chase's first rodeo.
But something I definitely want to draw attention to here is we don't have stats on reach for how the wingspan is for these guys.
Yep.
If I had to guess based on fighting style, I would say the blue corner.
Yep.
I do think Chase has a longer reach by the way that he's keeping the surgeon, he's keeping Justin right, and we're seeing that jab come in, not make contact, and then we're seeing the cross come all the way over and making contact. Something to note here: if you are Justin, the shorter fighter by 2 inches, that doesn't always mean you have less reach. But if I'm him, I am trying to get inside of that reach because we're seeing Chase throw punches, but not necessarily be able to get them tight.
Yep, they're
right?
coming. They're coming a little wide.
They're a little loopy.
You're not able to really keep it close. Use that force behind it. If you're able to get your feet set and you connect, that's when those really pack a punch. Pun intended. But you definitely see that, especially with a shorter fighter. You're used to having to get in close, right? If someone's able to keep you at an arm's length, I have to get inside.
I love the energy we're seeing from both fighters, right? We're seeing more activity from Chase here to start the second round and just slap a hook across his face, let's be honest. But I think it really speaks to the reach advantage he has because Justin's playing it pretty tight to his chin.
Very tight to his chin.
He's playing it pretty fundamental, but the head's not moving, the feet aren't moving as much. These are bigger guys. That is something you kind of sacrifice with size.
Chase is keeping it light, though, right? He is, like you said, he's the shorter fighter, but
Chase is taller.
Oh, shoot. So close. But regardless, the taller fighter is staying mobile.
He is. We're seeing Chase Campbell here use the full extent of that reach. That was a nice way for when it did get tight and inside, we did see the surgeon, we saw Justin throw a tight punch to make some use of that space. Let's just try to see if he can keep doing that.
Absolutely.
Because he's going to have that advantage from what we're seeing on that inside.
All right, ref separates. Looks like we got another less than a minute in this one. Excellent. Oh, that one came from, I feel like you got 5-day shipping on that. It was coming from a week out.
From the East Coast, some may say.
East Coast. They said, actually, this one's going to be tied up at the border.
Oh, wow. There's some great work.
Connection.
There's great work.
But a great response from Justin.
Now, it's interesting here. We're about to compliment one fighter for taking advantage of somebody else being in a bad foot position, and the other fighter responds to the same thing. So they're both taking advantage of each other, being in a space. They're both taking advantage of each other, being in a space where they're not actively in a good space to defend themselves.
Right then, you saw that Chase went in for a bunch of quick shots. He got overextended, turned around to the side. Justin capitalized on that. As he was open to the side, his guard is open, just asking for those quick body shots. Real quick, kisser right on the chin. You saw it happen quick.
Great point, Matthew. It's like you said, he's overextended. He's putting a lot into these punches, which is leading him to turn his torso a bit too much.
Absolutely.
The feet kind of go with it, and then he gets caught out.
Your power, your defense, all of it starts at the feet. So when you lose the feet, that's when everything, the castle starts to fall apart.
Now, in the grand scheme of things, right, we're seeing these guys throw some big hooks, especially later in the game when we're getting a little tired.
Yes.
But if I'm that red corner, if I'm Justin, he is landing those punches, but he'd be far more effective to touch his way into the inside, right, to get a little bit closer, because then he can open himself up for these punches. Whereas now, he's kind of winging that hook, hoping that he lands on that body or on that head. He's going to have a harder time hitting that head because we have the ability to kind of scoot ourselves backwards from the torso.
Absolutely.
Right?
And like you said, as they are moving through this, that fatigue is starting to settle in, and that telegraph is starting to be way more apparent. If you're going for that big hook from the outside, if you are staying heads up and watching what your opponent's doing, you're going to know that's coming. You're going to stay in on that guard, realizing that they just opened himself up really wide.
Right. And in no way would I encourage would I encourage Chase to kind of sit on the back burners here and to let him come to you, because we don't know which way this is going. There's been no standing 8 count.
No standing 8.
There's been constant activity. So if I'm Chase, I still have to have my wits about me.
I'd say these are both totally up in the air.
I can't just counterpunch this round if I'm Chase. I can't also throw that hook and hopefully it lands.
No, set it up. Set up the hook and make it just like that. He let Chase get extended. Justin responded with that really quick hook. All right. Nice and steady. We're keeping, like, I think out of a lot of our fellas tonight, the endurance is really showing right here. Right now, we're seeing that frequency, intensity is staying up even here in the 3rd round. They're starting to really use that jab to gauge where the other fighter's at. Pick your shot. We're not just throwing anything on the wall and seeing what sticks.
Now, what we're seeing from a body language side, I think a common technique we see people try when they get a little tired is they try to do this technique called the Philly shell. It's been popularized and innovated by folks like Floyd Mayweather. It's where you have that lead hand down by the waist and that right hand by the chin, and it allows that punch to come from a different angle. But I would argue that most fighters here today should not be trying the Philly shell. I think that
comes with a little bit more experience and time.
Exactly. So if I'm both of these guys, if both of these guys, I think we need to keep those hands up as we get into the later stage of this round. Because
last
we did
30 seconds.
In a previous fight, a late stage knockdown. Nothing is off the table. Especially when there's that much activity, they're still landing.
Right there, it's still landing. You want to hit that
now
shot.
We're getting complacent. We're getting complacent right now.
The footwork, we're starting to see the feet cross immediately. That is you struggling to stay up.
We have to keep the pressure on.
15 seconds left. The pressure has to stay up.
If I see an opponent cross those feet, I have to hit the gas. We need to see all gas in this last 10 seconds.
All gas, all gas.
Here we go.
I think, like you said, Justin was able to respond really strong in that last round. Though I felt like in the first, Chase over in our blue corner was really running the show, coming out with like that flurry of punches. Some of these like really lock solid connections. As the match went on, Justin really found his feet.
Which is, impressive for both fighters to have the intensity in which they expressed themselves and fought today. But just something to call out here, for just the size of the muscles on Justin the Surgeon, that is hard to maintain a high work rate when you're carrying around muscle like that, when your muscles of that size need the level of oxygen that they do.
You're totally correct.
Right? So that's a lot of oxygen debt that he's going into. So impressive on his side. But let's be honest here, I want to say the tip of the hat for technique, in my opinion, goes to the Chase corner.
I would say very much technique, tip of the hat with Chase. But as far as maintaining intensity throughout,
look at the boys got some in the old industry, when we see those little bumps under their eyes, it's a little tiny one, we call it a mouse. So you got little mice under their right under their eyes on the cheeks. So
he's been taking some good shots.
There's been some contact there, for sure. Now I imagine this is going to be a quicker decision than I thought. Let's see how it turns out.
Not disappoint. 3-round slugfest, heavy leather the whole entire time. After 3 rounds, we go to our judges' score for a split decision, declaring your winner out of the red corner, Justin Becerra.
And just to report at home, there are some contests.
There are some boos in the audience.
But there's also a lot of cheering.
There's a lot of cheering.
There's a reactions.
A lot of cheering. There's a lot of booing.
There are still silent auction tables open.
A split decision, not just with the officials, but a split decision in the crowd.